Namaste. I'm Aubrey. I will be guiding you through your practice today. This is Jamie. He'll be my body demo throughout class. Make your way into a comfortable seated position anywhere in your space that you're practicing. If you need to use a pillow, a block, or a set of blankets to prop yourself up to feel more comfortable seated on the ground, please do so. You won't need any props today for class. So as you find your way into a comfortable seated position, begin to close your eyes. Sit tall through your spine. Notice if you're leaning forward. Lean into your back body. Observe the natural rhythm of your breath. Scan your body for any lingering tension. Could be in your jaw, the tops of your shoulders, or even in your big toe. As you scan your body and observe any tension, begin to release and let that tension go. Through your nose, breathe in for 1, 2, 3. Out of your mouth, exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold at the top. Notice your body full of air as you send this air up towards the top of your head. Through your mouth, exhale 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom, empty lungs. Soften where you can. Witness the mind's reaction to this sensation. One more round. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Sending the air up towards the top of your head. Observing the difference between this sensation and holding at the bottom. Out of your mouth, exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final breath, hold. Hold here. And again, soften where you can by observing how the body feels. And then just breathe in at your own rhythm and pace. Through the nose, the mouth, breathe out. Continue breathing. Focus on filling every part of your lower abdomen with air. And then as you exhale, rinsing that air out, pulling your ribs down. And as you feel ready, begin to soften your eyes open, taking a moment to become aware of the space. And then gently find your way into a supine position. Come to lying on your back. Bend your knees, place your feet down onto the ground. Bring your palms just on your belly for a moment as we connect to our breath. So begin to observe where there is a natural curve in your spine. So where is there space between your spine and the mat? That's the natural curve. Now, as you breathe in, send the air into your low back. And as you exhale, can you keep that air in your low back? Rather than tilting your pelvis down, can you just push your low back into the mat? So continue breathing in and out by rooting your low back down without tilting your pelvis. You may start to feel your core turn on. Bring your hands down to your side bodies, palms facing down. Slowly, without shifting your body weight, begin to lift your left knee up above your hip height, moving slowly. And then slowly lower your foot back down to the mat. Again, trying not to shift anything in your body or create a curve in your spine. Slowly start to draw your right knee up towards hip height. And lower back down. 2 more like that. Lift your left knee up above your hip. And lower. Lift your right knee above your hip. And lower. Lift your left knee above your hip, this time holding, and now invite your right knee up to join your left. Maintain a 90-degree angle, heels in line with your knees, knees directly above your hips. Now check in with yourself. Are you recurving the back? Continue to breathe in and out, filling the low back with air. Slowly begin to lower your left heel down to the mat, maintaining a 90-degree angle. So rather than just dropping your foot down, slowly lower your heel to tap, keeping that 90-degree angle, and then lift your left knee back over your hip. If that felt too challenging, option to just stay here, knees over your hips, focusing on keeping your low back down. Start to lower your right heel to the mat, maintaining that 90-degree angle. Lift your right knee back up. 2 more, left heel down, 90-degree angle through your leg, tapping your heel down. Lift your left knee back up. Tap your right heel down. Lift back up. Now this time, begin to lower both heels down just about 30 degrees. Pause. Notice, is your neck sliding down? Are you starting to arch your back? If you are, back out a little bit and find that air in your low back. If you're not compensating, option to start to lower your heels a little bit more. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw your knees back over your hips. Last breath. Inhale, fill your low back with air. Exhale, begin to lower both heels down 30 degrees. Check in, is your neck sliding down? Are you arching? If not, lower another 30 degrees. Or find your depth compensation free. Hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw your knees back over your hips and then place your feet down onto the mat. Bring your hands onto your belly and let's just take 2 rounds of breath. Inhale and exhale. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Again, filling your low back with air, bring your palms to your sides. Lift your right knee up above your hip, and then your left. This time, reach your arms straight up towards the ceiling. Awesome. Slowly begin to reach your right arm overhead. Begin to straighten your left leg without arching in your back or shifting body weight. And then draw arm and leg back through center. Inhale, left arm overhead, right leg long. Maintain that abdominal pressure. And exhale, come back through center. 2 more. Inhale, right arm overhead, left leg long. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, left arm overhead, right leg long. Maintain abdominal pressure. Exhale, back to center. 1 more time. Right arm overhead, left leg long. Back to center. Left arm overhead, right leg long. Back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Just take a moment, rock side to side. Just feeling all that fire in your belly and allow that fire, that heat to rise up into your heart space. Awesome. Grab behind your thighs. Begin to rock and roll forward and back the length of your mat. And then come into a quadruped position, all 4s. Stack your shoulders above your hips, stack your hips above your knees. Now from here, just for a moment, untuck your toes, bring your big toes to touch, sit your hips back towards your heels, and then rise to a seat, shoulders over your hips. Let's just give the wrists some love here. Bring your elbows to your side bodies, Face your palms up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingers as wide as they go. Circle your fingertips in without turning your elbow. Extend, draw your fingertips down towards the ground, reverse high five. Circle out wide. And then as you flex and bend at the ribs, avoid bending your fingers. Again, circle in, down, out, and up. Hold fingertips up, pause, reverse, circle out, down, in, and up. Notice Jamie's forearm isn't turning here. So if your forearm is turning, that shows you your elbow is trying to be your wrist. Just try and correct that compensation. Again, circle out, down, in, flex up without bending your fingers, and release. Come back to that quadruped position, all fours. Stack your shoulders above your wrists, stack your hips above your knees. Working a little more into that same thing we did on our backs, but now we're doing it with our bellies facing down. So start to reach your left arm overhead. Pause. Without shifting, drawing ribs in, pulling chin in, start to reach your right leg behind you, straightening your right leg. Pause. Keep your hips square, keep your ribs pulled in, and then just exhale, lower knee to ground, palm to ground. Inhale, reach your right arm forward, left leg back, moving slowly as to not shift body weight, and then exhale, lower. 2 more, inhale, left arm forward, right leg back, moving slowly. Notice if you have to shift to one side, and then exhale, lower. Inhale, right arm forward, left leg back. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, left arm forward, right leg back. Keep your ribs pulled in, back flat. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right arm forward, left leg back. And then exhale, lower. Inhale here, flat spine. Exhale, hover your knees about 2 inches off your mat. Pull your chin back and in. Draw your ribs in. Stay with your breath, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tap your knees down for a moment. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, hover your knees 2 inches off the mat. Option to stay here or play with lifting your left hand an inch off the mat and then lowering. Lift your right hand an inch off the mat, lower. Option to lift your left toes a few inches up, lower. Right toes up, lower. Now maybe right hand, left toes lift together, lower. Now maybe left hand, right toes lift, and lower. Hold, 3, 2, 1, and then exhale, release. Untuck your toes, big toes touch, hips to your heels, come to sitting into this position, shoulders over your hips. Awesome. So just feeling that sensation through your forearms and through your core. Let's give some fingers some love. So reach your left hand out in front of you with a bent elbow. Spread your fingers as wide as they go. Take 2 circles in one direction with your thumb, and then in the other direction. And then move on to your next finger. Pointer finger, 2 circles in one direction. Focus on spreading your fingers wide, and then notice it becomes more challenging as you move to your middle finger, your ring, and then to your pinky. Unclench your jaw, unfurl your eyebrow. It's okay to laugh a little bit here. This is tricky. It should be challenging. Especially for climbing and protecting fingers from finger injury, this is just a great way to mobilize our finger joints. And then switch to your opposite hand. Spread your fingers wide, starting with your thumb. Take 2 circles in each direction. Notice which hand is more challenging. Maybe the set of fingers on this hand is a bit more challenging than the other hand. Have you had previous injuries? Is that your dominant hand? Just things to consider. Stay with your breath. Continue to spread your fingers wide. Again, noticing how awkward it can feel moving your pinky. And then let's come back to a collapsed quadruped position. So untuck your toes, bring your hips to your heels. Now just hinge your chest forward slightly and then reach your hands down to the mat out in front of you. So walk your hands about a foot away from your knees. Awesome. Lift up your pointer fingers and start to tap your pointer fingers down for 1, 2, 3. Now shift your body weight a bit more forward over your wrist. Not totally over your wrist, just a few inches forward, and then lift your pointer fingers up and tap. 1, 2, 3. And then option to bring your shoulders all the way over your wrist and tap for 1, 2, 3. Press your hips back to your heels. Let's work to the next finger. Lift your middle fingers up, tap. 1, 2, 3. Shift your body weight forward, tap. 1, 2, 3. Maybe shoulders all the way over wrist, lift and tap for 1, 2, 3. Shift hips all the way back. Ring finger, lift and tap. 1, 2, 3. Shift forward, tap. 1, 2, 3. Maybe all the way forward, shoulders over wrist, tap. 1, 2, 3. Shift hips back. Pinkies, maybe they don't move. We just want to teach the brain to get these pinkies to move here in different degree of load. Lift the pinkies up, tap. 1, 2, 3. Shift a bit more forward, tap. 1, 2, 3. Hinge forward, maybe a bit more, tap. 1, 2, 3. And sit back. Take a moment. Just take your hands and actually massage your wrists. Just noticing that sensation, the awkwardness of it. Any limitations? Again, just observing and reflecting. Awesome. Come back to a quadruped position, all fours. Step your right foot back, left foot back, high plank position, and hold. Take a deep inhale breath. As you exhale, squeeze your wrist towards your toes, toes towards your wrists. So imagine there was a long stick of wood in between your feet and your hands, and you're squeezing that wood in between. Now protract your scapula, press your palms down into the mat, finding a slight rounding through your shoulder blades. Inhale here. Exhale, begin to bend your elbows, eccentric push-up. Start to lower down onto your belly. Notice your scapula will start to retract. Control the movement. Use your knees as needed. Come all the way down onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat. Drive through your toenails and then lengthen your tailbone down. Find a slight tuck of your tailbone. Keep your wrist underneath your elbows, creating a 90-degree angle. Now notice this automatically draws your shoulder blades back. As we move into upward facing dog, keep your shoulder blades rotating back rather than your shoulder blades dipping forward, which tends to happen here. As you inhale, pull your chest forward enough to lift your chest and forehead without lifting your chin. And then hover your palms a few inches off the mat by lifting your elbows towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, tap your palms down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press into your palms, lift your knees, lift your thighs, lift your hips up off the mat. Reach your heart forward, breathe. Exhale, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Feel free to make your stance a bit more narrow. You can walk your feet closer to your hands if this is more accessible for you. Or you can keep your feet back a little bit if being in a longer downward facing dog feels accessible. Wherever you're at, spread your fingers as wide as they go. Make sure your pointer fingers are pointed forward or slightly turned outward. Breathe into the backside of your body, the back of your heart, down through your hamstrings and your calves. You can bend your knees as much as you'd like to here. Beautiful. From downward facing dog, inhale, lift your heels and your hips. Exhale, tiptoe forward to the top of your mat. Bring your big toes to touch or feet hips width distance apart. Inhale, halfway lift, like a wave through your spine. Lift up halfway, reach your heart forward, gaze slightly forward. Exhale, forward fold. Two more like that. Inhale, halfway lift, hips back, heart forward, gaze slightly forward. Exhale, forward fold. One more, inhale, halfway lift. This time as you exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Drive your hips back a bit more, feeling your hamstrings load. And then on an inhale, rise with a flat back. Tadasana, mountain pose. And exhale. Really nice. Just bring your hands to your heart center for a moment. And after being inverted, just take a moment to feel your head above your heart. Connect to your breath. And then drop your hands down to your sides. Inhale, reach your arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, bend the knees slightly. Exhale, lift your tailbone, hinge your hips back, forward fold with a flat spine. At the bottom, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, squeeze wrists towards toes. Exhale, bend your elbows, eccentric push-up, lower down, controlling the movement, using your knees as needed. Untuck your toes at the bottom. Inhale, pull your chest forward and up, upward facing dog. Press your palms down, keep your shoulder blades rolling back, lift your knees, lift your thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, inhale and exhale. We'll flow through that breath to movement. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips. Exhale, tiptoe forward, top of mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, arms out and up overhead, big breath. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then bring them down to your hips. Inhale, soft bend in the knees, lift your tailbone. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips, drive your hips back, reach your heart forward, load your hamstrings. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, drag wrist towards toes. Exhale, eccentric push-up, lower to your belly. Untuck your toes. Inhale, pull your chest forward and up, upward facing dog. Straighten your elbows, lift your knees, lift your thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Continuity, one more time. Inhale, heels high, hips high. Exhale, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose, reach out and up, stand tall, big breath. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then to your hips. Inhale, bend the knees, hinge at your hips, tailbone up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, squeeze wrist to toes. Exhale, lower through a push-up. Untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Keep your shoulder blades pulling back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold down dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot forward. Now walk your feet hips width distance apart, especially for us ladies. Sometimes we need more space in the hips, so honor that. Inhale, crescent lunge. Reach your arms forward and up. Stack your shoulders above your hips. Take a soft bend in your back knee to lengthen your tailbone. Draw your ribs down. Option to begin to straighten your back leg by lunging forward into your front knee. You can play with lifting your back heel high above your back toes, finding more big toe extension. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Spin your back heel down, reach your arms to a T. Point all 5 toes on your front foot forward. If I drew a line from your front heel, it would bisect the middle of your back arch or your back heel, so honor a bit wider stance in your warrior two. Keep your left leg active. Draw your right knee towards your second and third toe. Inhale, star pose. Straighten both legs. Pivot your heels in and your toes out. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale, horse pose, hands to heart center, bend your knees. Inhale, star pose, straighten your legs, arms overhead. To the back of your mat, exhale, warrior two, pivoting in the opposite direction for your warrior two stance. Find that same alignment. Activate your back leg. Draw your front knee towards your second and third toe. Although reaching through both sets of hands, ease tension in your shoulders. Inhale, reverse warrior. Reach your left arm towards the ceiling. Send your right hand down your right leg. Exhale, low lunge. Windmill your arms down. Pick your back heel up. Square your hips. Step your right foot to meet your left. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees. Sit your hips. Reach forward and up. If shoulder flexion is sensitive for you, option to reach your arms forward or bring your hands to heart center. Continue to send your hips back as you equally distribute the weight throughout your feet. Inhale. Exhale, airplane your arms, reach your hands behind you, face your palms down, retract your scapula, squeeze your shoulder blades, engage your triceps. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, rise to stand, reach your left knee to hip height, reach your arms up overhead. Stay for your exhale. Lengthen your tailbone down, lower your ribs, breathe up through your heart. Inhale, exhale, step back, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Step your left foot to the back of your mat, reach your hands behind you, coming into a high lunge with your arms back. Draw your ribs back and in. Draw your chin in. Breathe. Inhale, warrior two. Spiral your back heel down. Circle your left arm overhead as you reach your arms out to a T. If you haven't noticed already, we're moving in a full mandala, a full circle around the mat. Take as much time as you need. Inhale, breathe. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach as far forward through your upper body as you can, and then tick-tock your arms down. Option to place your right forearm on the top of your right quad for added support, or slide your right elbow to your inner thigh, bringing your hand down to the mat or onto a water bottle. Keep your back leg active. Keep lengthening your tailbone down. Avoid a booty pop, although nice, just not here. Inhale, star pose, rise to stand, heels in, toes out, take up space, big breath. Exhale, horse pose. Inhale, star pose. To the front of your mat, exhale, warrior two, left toes forward. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your front leg, reach your left arm towards the ceiling, back hand down your back leg. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high plank, step your left foot back. Exhale, push up, lower down onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog, big breath, big push. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we just did a full mandala around the mat. Just take a moment to let that simmer. Feel that sensation of the circular motion through your body. Stay connected to your breath. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, reach your left leg high to the sky. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, arms overhead, shoulders over hips. Stay and breathe. Lengthen your tailbone. Draw your ribs down. Breathe up through your heart. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Pivot your back heel down, open your hips, stretch your arms out to a T. Inhale, star pose, rise to stand. Turn your heels in and your toes out. Exhale, horse pose, bend your knees, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, star pose, straighten your legs, big breath, arms overhead. To the back of your mat, exhale, warrior two, right toes pointed forward, right knee over right ankle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, step your left foot up to meet your right. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, right knee up to hip height. Stand into your left foot, reach your arms overhead. Stay for your exhale, find your balance. Breathe in, maybe right knee lifts a little bit higher. Exhale, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Step your right foot back to the back of your mat. Reach your hands behind you. Find your balance and breathe. Lift your belly away from your thighs. Draw your chin in. Inhale, warrior two, sweeping movement. Draw your right heel down as you circle your right arm overhead and out wide to a T. Exhale, extended side angle. Hinge as far forward through your upper spine as you can, and then tick-tock. Keep your back leg active and working for you. Squeeze your front hip and outer glute. Take any of those regressions that you need. Left arm on your left quad is always there for you. Option to grab a water bottle for your bottom hand. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, hands, heart center, horse pose. Inhale, star pose, big breath. Back to the front of your mat, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your front leg, reach your right arm straight up, big breath into your side body. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower through a push-up. You can always skip that. You can go down right into downward facing dog from high plank, or inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. All right, we're gonna flow that breath to movement one more time, full mandala, right and left. If you're feeling fatigued, option to pause the camera here or skip this additional flow altogether, your choice. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Stay with the breath. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, horse. Inhale, star. To the back of your mat, warrior two, exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior, front knee stays bent. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, step your right foot up to meet your left. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, left knee to hip height. Exhale, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Step your left foot back, reach your hands behind you. Inhale, warrior two, big breath. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, horse pose. Inhale, star pose. To the front of your mat, exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your front leg, reach up. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower through a push-up, all the way to your belly. Shoulder blades back, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more side, you've got this, stay with the breath, tap into your power. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, horse pose. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, warrior two, back of the mat. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, step your left foot up to meet your right. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, airplane arms. Right knee lifts. Inhale, one leg Tadasana. Stand into your left foot, right knee high. Exhale, step your right foot back, crescent lunge, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior two, big breath. Feel strong, feel powerful. Exhale, extended side angle. Feel rooted and grounded. Inhale, star pose. Exhale, horse pose. Inhale, star. Exhale, warrior two, top of the mat, almost there. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten your front leg, big breath up. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower through a push-up. Final push-up of class here. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold down dog. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, shift forward, high plank position. Stay for your exhale, bring your big toes to touch. Inhale, side plank. Left hand is your foundation. Reach your right arm towards the ceiling as you rotate to the knife edge of your left foot. If this is not accessible for you, bring your left knee down to the mat for a supported side plank variation. Wherever you're at, breathe, yogi, breathe. Inhale, lift your top leg up away from your bottom. Exhale, bend your knee towards your chest. Hold, inhale. As slowly as you can, exhale, low lunge. Begin to pivot on your back toes as you step your right foot towards the top of your mat. Inhale, step your left foot up to meet your right. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend your knees, reach your arms forward and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, round your upper spine. Pause. Exhale, prayer twist to your right. Start to rotate your spine right, but hold. Rather than tapping your left elbow to your right knee, hover your left elbow outside of your right knee. Now find length through your spine by reaching your heart forward. And now bring your left elbow to touch your right knee and utilize that pressure to find more rotation through your spine. Draw your left knee back in line with your right. It tends to sneak away from the party. Irish exit. We all got one of those. Breathe. Reach your chest forward. Every inhale, breathe into your heart. Every exhale, find more rotation. Gaze down to your right big toe. Inhale, draw your left heel towards your left glute. Pause. If this isn't accessible, you can kickstand your big toe. Exhale, control the movement. Start to step your left foot to the back of your mat, revolved crescent lunge. Drop your left knee down. Beautiful. Every inhale, reach your chest forward. Every exhale, navel to spine, rotate more through your upper spine. One more round of breath. Inhale. Exhale, runner's lunge. Toe heel your right foot wide. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Again, make sure your foot is as wide as your mat or a bit wider. A too narrow of a stance could potentially put pressure on your knee. Option to keep your palms on the ground or walk down onto your forearms if that's accessible. Avoid tucking your chin. Gaze towards the top of your mat. Pull your chin in. Keep your neck long. So keep this length through your cervical spine. Breathe, yogi, breathe. If you'd like to find another variation here, feel free. There are many options. You could take a bind. You could move into an arm balance, maybe a quad stretch. So just about 3 to 5 more cycles of breath to find any movement that feels inviting in your hip, maybe your hamstrings, or maybe challenging your arm balances. And then as you breathe here, just simply notice. Notice what thoughts are occurring at this time. Notice if you've lost awareness of your breath or lost awareness of your body in this space that you're in. Come back to the moment. Come back to the rhythm of your breath. And then slowly, wherever you're at, start to make your way back to your runner's lunge. Begin to walk onto your palms. Toe heel your right foot back through center. Plant your palms on either side of your foot. Inhale, lift your back knee up off the mat, low lunge. Exhale, step your right foot back. Low lunge. Lift your left knee up off the mat. Exhale, step your right foot back, high plank. Bring your big toes to touch, and then shift the weight into your right palm now. Inhale, side plank, rotate to the knife edge of your right foot, reach your left arm up towards the sky. Again, if this is not accessible for you, bring your right knee down to the mat for a supported side plank variation. Wherever you're at, supported or unsupported, which is a funny way of saying your knees off the ground. Inhale, lift your left leg up, hold. Exhale, draw your left knee towards your chest. Control this transition as best you can. Exhale, low lunge, pivot on your back toes, begin to step your left foot forward. Exhale, plant your left palm down. Inhale, step your right foot up to meet your left. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, flex your thoracic spine, round your upper back, and then rotate your spine to the left. Now, find length through your spine by lifting your heart towards your fingertips. Hover your right elbow outside of your left knee without tapping. See if you can max out rotation before using your leg. And then bring your right elbow to your left quad, and then use that leverage to find more rotation. Stay with your breath. Draw your right knee back in line with your left. Squeeze your knees together. Make sure your big toes are touching here. Breathe, yogi, breathe. Gaze down to your left big toe. Inhale, draw your right heel towards your glute or kickstand your right big toe. Exhale, step your right foot back to the back of your mat with control. Revolved crescent lunge, and draw your right knee to the mat. Every inhale, find length through your spine, and then every exhale, navel to spine, twist more to the left. One more, inhale. Exhale, release runner's lunge, hands to the inside of your left foot. Toe heel your left foot as wide as your mat or wider. Again, gaze slightly forward to keep length in your cervical spine. Draw your chin in. And then find the same variation that you took on the other side, if it's accessible on this side. Although we work for equanimity and balance through our yoga practice, you may come to find that you can do one thing on one side that you can't on the other. Honor that and just be aware of those differences. Continue to find your rhythm of breath. Taking any other movements, tricks, or playtime that you wish here. And then if you find or you found another variation, gently begin to make your way back to your runner's lunge. If you're in a runner's lunge with your palms down, begin to walk back onto your palms. Inhale, tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up. Exhale, toe heel your left foot back to the center of your mat. Inhale, step your left foot back to meet your right, high plank. Downward facing dog, exhale. Down dog, breathe in. Open mouth, exhale. Ah. Inhale, lift your heels and your hips. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, hop, step, float all the way through to a seat at the top of your mat. Teleport if you have it. All right, come to a seat on your mat. Just take a moment here to shake out the legs in front of you. Just noticing the residue of just all that movement, the mandala, the balancing, the transitions. Bring your right leg to the top right corner of your mat or angle it out a little bit, about 45 degrees. Bring the sole of your left foot to your right inner thigh. And from here, cross your hands over your chest. Take a full inhale, breathe into your heart. As you exhale, begin to rotate, turn your spine right over your right leg. Bring your hands down to the mat, fingertips. Take a full inhale. And then as you exhale, start to draw your chest towards your right knee without rounding in your spine. So keeping length in your spine, just drawing your chest towards your right knee. And just holding here for a moment. You can always continue to walk your hands a bit more forward, especially if you have the flexibility in your hamstring. Couple rounds of breath. Now, option to stay here or bring your right forearm to the inside of your right thigh and then start to turn and open your chest towards the ceiling. Take your left hand to your right rib cage and just pull your right rib cage forward and up to keep that length through your right side body. And then take your left hand behind your head, elbow up towards the ceiling. Let's stay here for 3 more breaths. Inhale. Maybe start to side bend closer towards your right knee as you exhale. Breathing in and out. In and out. Inhale, release, rise back up to a seat. And then exhale, switch sides. Send your left leg to the top left corner or a 45-degree angle. Bring the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Cross your hands over your chest. Rotate, turn your spine left. Then bring your hands down to the ground and start to draw your chest towards your left knee without rounding in your spine. Maintain length through your spine. Draw your left toes towards your face. With every inhale, breathe up towards your armpits. With every exhale, draw that breath down through your ribs, maybe finding more of a stretch. Again, option to stay here or bring your left forearm to your left inner thigh, palm facing up. Start to open and turn your chest towards the ceiling. Take your right palm to your left rib cage and pull your left rib cage forward and up. Take your right hand behind your head. Inhale. And as you exhale, maybe side bending down towards your left knee. 2 more cycles of breath. Noticing all that sensation in your right rib cage, your intercostal muscles, the space between your rib cage. Just breathing into that sensation. And then inhale, rise back up. And then exhale, send your legs long in front of you. Just shake it out. Legs can stay straight or you can bend your knees, reach your arms forward. Inhale, breath. Exhale, slowly tuck your tailbone, round your low back. Begin to lower all the way down onto your back, drawing your navel in as you lower with control. When you reach the earth, stamp your left foot onto the ground. Bring your right shin on top of your left quadricep for figure 4. Rather than your right ankle, work to get the outside of your right shin on your quad. This will help to protect your knee and also give you a deeper stretch in your right outside hip. Now, option to stay here or begin to lift your left foot off the mat, finding a 90-degree angle with your left foot. Take your right hand to your right thigh and begin to just draw your right leg forward. If you have another variation, option to take yourself there. Just spend about 3 to 5 cycles of breath. Feeling your outer hip tissue work, this hip external rotation. Now that we're starting to make our way towards the end of class, take deeper, longer exhalations out of the mouth. Really nice. Continue breathing. Scanning your body, observing the residue of your practice, noticing any lingering tension, beginning to fully release. If you lifted your left foot up, place it down onto the mat. Lower your right foot down. You can always pause the video at any time and spend more time in these stretches. Bring your left shin towards your right quadricep, dorsiflex your ankle, lift your toes to your knees. Option to lift your right foot up, find that 90-degree angle. Take your left hand to your thigh, press it forward, and stay with your breath. You can even take note here. Where is your knee in relation to your ankle? Is it closer to your chest? Is it in line with your ankle? Just may show you how much space, how much mobility or flexibility that you have in your hip external rotator. Just taking these mental notes. Last few breaths. And again, option to pause, spend as much time as you'd like in any of these postures or stretches. Bring your right foot down to the mat, and then your left. Send your left leg long. Hug your right knee into your chest. Exhale, supine twist. Cross your right knee over your left side body. Pick your butt up, roll onto your left hip. You can use a pillow or a blanket underneath your right knee for added support if you wish. Draw your arms to a T or to a cactus. You can even reach your right arm overhead. Yoga is a practice that takes us to us. Yoga takes you to you. Returns you to your center, allowing you to fully accept yourself as you are on your mat each and every time. Whether it be a practice of asana or physical yoga postures, or a practice of sitting, it is a journey within that connects you to your center. Just notice how the residue of your practice has connected you to your center. Draw your right leg back through center. Realign your hips underneath you. Send your right leg long. Hug your left knee to your chest. Exhale, supine twist. Cross your left knee over your right side body as you lift your hips up, roll on to your right hip. Finding a comfortable position with your arms so that your left shoulder isn't hiking up towards your ear or elevated off the ground. One of my teachers always says that yoga is a practice that teaches us how to maintain a healthy sense of self amongst life's chaos. So how do you stay centered and grounded as chaos or stress increases around you? Whether it be yoga, mountain biking, walking, a sport, art, cooking, these various practices that allow us to maintain a healthy sense of self, manage our stress, connect to our inner peace. So I encourage you to take a moment of gratitude for those practices. And for the people that encourage you to stay disciplined and committed to those routines, to those practices. And slowly draw your left knee back through center. Realign your hips underneath you. Hug both knees into your chest. You can curl yourself into a tiny little ball, maybe whispering words of gratitude to yourself. And then exhale, Shavasana, final resting pose. Send your legs long in front of you, arms at your side. You can take Shavasana however you'd like. If you'd like to bring your feet to touch, knees wide, all that I ask is that you do no work during this. If you're choosing another way to lie down, make sure you're using pillows or props to prop yourself up so that you can fully relax. Wherever you're at, get any last minute wiggles or movements out of the way. Open and close your jaw, move your tongue around. Take a big inhale breath, ball up your fists, scrunch up your face, contract your whole body, hold, maybe another sip of air in. And exhale, fully drop, release, and relax. You are fully supported by the earth beneath you. The only thing that's carried every single one of your footsteps, the earth. The place that we can always return to feel supported, to feel grounded. And may we always remember that nature lives within our own hearts. The mountains, the rivers, the oceans, the elements, all within us. May we see and connect to that truth. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana to spend as much time as you'd like here. When you are ready to exit Shavasana, I encourage you to do so mindfully, slowly, taking as much time as you need to make your way to a seat. And when you do rise to a seat, taking a moment to feel that gratitude for your practice. Gratitude for pausing and allowing yourself to give back to you. May we continue to return to this practice again and again, accepting ourselves as we are each and every moment. You can end practice with hands at heart center. Or finding any position or closing meditation that feels calling for you. Thank you for practicing with us. Namaste.